Oh, this is what okay, let's see, I have to either do this or do that. Let me do that. See what happens. You know, I have this thing where no, really, I'm realizing I need you. And so the way I'm going to do it is, well, yeah. So I need to say, okay, I'm going to take something and put it up. And I was going to do it a long time ago. So while I'm using this guy as my backup, I'm going to stop that guy. And then I'm going to put all because those are the easy ones. I mean, they can just get loaded up. And whether yes, and I kind of think that it makes sense because there is that just throughput thing. If I keep doing the throughput, if I wind up with, over the next month, I put up 200, 300 videos, that's all totally accessible to anybody who wants to look at it. And I've got incredible amounts of stuff in the archives. It's everything I can do to tell you what I'm doing now. You, really, the you is you now, not you in the future. I mean, not the you who's listening. I'm going to stop pointing at the person who's listening because actually that's a little rude of me to do it. So when I go over here, though, I am pointing to you, fella. You. You. You need to keep trying to keep it simple, not get carried away. Your strength is you're doing what you're good at doing. And getting better at it is not a problem. It's not as if, oh, you're wasting your time perfecting what you're doing, because I'm not perfecting it. I'm merely gaining more experience. And the more experience I gain, the more I have at my beck and call. So that, yeah, because I'm expecting to continue what I'm doing right now. When I walk into somebody's house and go, could this guy really be Steven Spielberg? I mean, he's been the guy who I've thought about all along, and not that I care about him any more than anybody else. I just picked him out of the thin air, and I've kept him in my mind. Someday I'm going to meet him, and I think that is true. But I have a feeling he's not the guy that I care about at this moment. The guy that I care about is not or gal, woman, absolutely could be a woman. I'm a little wary of women only because I fall in love with you people, and that's not good. I mean, that's my fault. It's not your fault. I don't blame women. I don't think women are bitches because they have all these ways of attracting us, and then they change their mind, which they have a right to do. Sometimes you drive me crazy. Bissy B, you're still driving me crazy. I love you as a friend. I mean, we never were lovers. But you're a woman who I feel very connected to. The time we went to the beach and meditated. Well, what was so helpful for me was your willingness to kind of believe that I was going to be doing, and you did. I'm realizing I've never seen a video of that guy you're talking. I think I saw him for just a little bit because you told me his name. Right at the time, you basically refused to talk to me anymore, ever again, taking out your phone to call the police on me because I'm saying hello. Can't we spent all those hours together, and then all of a sudden we can't spend 5 minutes? Well, I think I know why, and I'm sorry for you and for me, You're the one who has to keep repeating it, just like I know I was a repeat of that guy that you saw on the beach. He seemed like a pretty decent fellow, and you seemed genuinely distraught that you had treated him the way you had, and you felt it was extremely important to get his forgiveness. You told me afterwards that you'd been thinking it was on your mind, and you just needed to tell him. You needed to ask his forgiveness. And I think you are thinking that same thing now. You don't have to ask me. I mean, you can't. I mean, if it's good for you to do it, then do it, of course. I mean, All I'm saying, you don't have to ask me. You might have to ask me, but from my point of view, no, because you've already got it. I mean, I've been angry with you for and on and off. Sometimes I really get angry thinking about how badly you treated me. I didn't deserve it. But I also understand that you've got like a cognitive disorder that with an emotional component that has you act in this kind of switching kind of way that, I know you wouldn't get diagnosed as having borderline personality disorder, but actually I think I've run into people, that have this kind of switch, and it often is around love and sex. I mean that for good. I mean there's a reason why it's around very intense things that maybe, there are things going on in your childhood that you have a very hard time acknowledging, possibly, or whatever, who knows. But in this need that you have to completely cut off our friendship, just cut it, boom, without even a word, not a one word of why or what it's all about. And you're acting as if you really thought I was a bad person. Anyway, so so that's why I'm thinking that this person that I have in mind is probably a male, just because I'm much less likely to get involved in the way that I have not too often in my life. I've stayed away from it. You, busy bee, Katerina. I'm tempted to say your real name, but I'm not going to. I mean, nobody would know, but maybe a couple people would. And I guess for that reason. Yeah, for you, I don't want to say it as much as I'd like to. That's why I'm not going to show your face, even though I've got that video. It's so amazing. It's like a video that, it was us eating, looking at this molten, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. That it was a chocolate souffle cake that took forever because they baked it right then and there, And then when it came, they had ice cream. It was vanilla ice cream with chocolate flakes in it. And so it was melting fast, running down the edges of this, rich, so rich chocolate. And you, busy bee. I think, yes, we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it now. Oh, this is exciting, busy bee, because I actually think that maybe you're going to see this. Maybe. I hope so. I mean, if it's not this, it's getting there, in other words. Because I love you. I love you as a friend. Not a lover. I mean, I don't know. That's complicated. It's complicated, but, I think we should, well, if you'd be just willing to listen to this, that's all I care about. We don't have to get back together. We're probably better off never. I don't know. I don't believe that. I believe we can continue it. We can be friends. We can, call each other on the phone and talk a little bit. Go and get some cake and do just what we did. Just that. No more. We don't have to do anything more. I mean, I think the problem was you felt you wanted to do more and you couldn't. It was tearing you up. You didn't say anything to me about it. But the last day that we were together was the day that you started talking in the most domestic way I've ever heard you talk. Because you tend to talk in these kind of spiritual, blue school way. Very imaginative, artistic ways of thinking about life. I love listening to your ideas. Even if I thought they were ridiculous. But that's all right. I mean, we all are like that. I have all sorts of ideas that are ridiculous. Some of my ideas are really good. And it's the friends that let you go all the way. So 9 things are ridiculous, 1 thing's really good. Oh, keep going. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this. But you want to do it, so why do anything other than encourage you. You know, I'm not gonna talk you out of it. So why bother? Let me encourage you. Let me support you. But up to a point, that's what you were doing for me this evening. And I really needed it. Joan Baez sings a song that has some words in it that are real for us. You gave to me so many things. It makes me wonder how they could belong to me. And I gave you only my dark eyes that melted your soul to the place where it longed to be. Well, I just realized I don't have time today to find the video. I'd find it within 15 minutes, have it, and it's great. And it's already edited with your face out of it. So I could just put it up, but actually I wouldn't put the whole thing up anyway. I would just have I would have your fingers. Because yes, your hands are bony, and I took a picture, which I really wanted to use because it was so great. It got all what I love about looking at you. It got that, but your face was hidden by your hands because you were digging into your purse. But you do have these bony hands that in that particular situation they almost look like lobster claws. And I said, no, I can't. I'm not going to use that picture. I don't want. I mean, it's just one of those, the light, you know, the way your hands, and because they are very bony. And yet, seeing, that's what I'm going to show of you. Your fingers holding that spoon and the way you took that spoon and first you turned it around to the round part. You kind of went up, kind of pushed up some of the molten ice cream as it was coming down. You pushed it up a little bit, turned it around, and then you dug in. You know, it's like if you had been a man, it would have been, my virgin, you know. It was virgin cake, and you just popped right through the hymen there. And all the gooiness and the inside started to flow over the spoon, and then you scooped it up and and then you nodded, and then you took another one, and then you fed it to me as I had the camera and turned it around. Hot. Love. I could die right now. Yeah, to die for. To die for. There are these things in life, you know? Like that. Like butter. Like butter. Like butter. Just like butter. Ha 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 ha. Now, I keep not doing what I said I'm going to do. So right, that's the one that I'm going to do. And so I'm going to make it easy. Oh, and I'm going to, let's see. What the hell? I'm going to let you see as much as possible. Wait a minute, this isn't plugged in. Okay. Huh. No wonder the light didn't go on. It's not plugged in. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Good. Now this guy needs to be unplugged from the charger and plugged into the computer. Oh, so easy. It's so easy when you got things set up. And it's something, it takes time to set it up. That's what I'm learning. Holy cow. But once you got it, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I think anybody can do it. And if you know, whoa, 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 uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. There we go. Oh, shit. Fuck you, man. It didn't work, did it? I don't think it worked. Wait, it might have. Let me see. It's so easy. Nope, it didn't work. Fuck you. So unplug it, plug it back in. I wasn't fast enough. Wasn't fast enough to do, oh, okay. So what I need to do is do a disk drive right there, and then done. And I hit the disk drive thing, and then I didn't hit done fast enough, and it just kind of went. You know, so this is, whoopsie. Now you still are, right? It's still, yes, it is. Ah, okay. Now I need to. Oh, so now I'll turn it on. What the hell? I mean, just, yeah, why not? See what's going on here. Let's see, camera. Oh, and then I need to turn it around this way. So that's this way. Right now it's pointing out that way. I want the camera that's going this way, which is the lower quality camera. But okay, and let's see. And so right now, you see, wow, you see, isn't that interesting? Sugua, Sugua. Sugu. Oh, but it's not. You know what? I'm not capturing what it is, so wait, I need to just do it. Su. Oh. Oh, okay. Forget it. Right. Because you see, this is my problem. I get so interested, intrigued with the possibilities. You know, visual possibilities are just so incredible. Especially you combine even the simplest, like, stuff that you can do on a phone. Like, okay, so I've got my other phone. What is this green? It's like a. What is causing that? It's. What is green that's doing this? Now, if let's see, just see what. Okay, it's gone. I think that's better. Yeah, you know what I think it is? It's a reflection of that light. If I go. Yep, there it is. That's the light. It's reflecting off of here. Yeah, you learn a lot. Whoopsie, a lot about angles. You know, all this stuff that you don't normally see. It's bouncing around, you know. Yeah. What I want to do, if I want to be green screened. Oh, right. Well, it doesn't matter. So many things to consider. See if if I'm serious about the green screening thing, I just get a little bit away. So now it can be, it can be cropped here. Further away I get, the more of me that's going to be there. And that's why having it lower down, right? However, it's not for me to sit back and expound upon things as I am wont to do. I haven't had any real breakfast, have I? I'm hungry. And it's yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Holy shit, how did that happen? I guess you could say I'm very involved in this. It could almost be scary. However, it's exciting. It's really exciting. So, what I'm doing though, trying to stay here long enough to do something that's actually rather simple. So, I'm just going in, and I'm not going to explain. Well, shh. Okay, now, March 17th, 18th, okay. I have a lot of videos. Okay, so we're going to first take it in. Right. Shh. Right. Okay, so 15th. No, I think we want to, this is going to be 15th through the 17th, right? And so anything that's still on the 17th, I want to put in there. Right? Wait, shh. What's this? Wait. Oh, I'm so confused. What? I don't know what this. No, misstated zooms. I don't want that. Yes. Right. Video. The highest video. March. Yeah, wait. I want to do. Right. Oh, everything. Oh, everything. Wait a minute. Last. Shit. This is a pain. Where's March 18th? Now I'm getting... Oh. Never you mind. I just want everything through March 17th, and then March 18th becomes a new one. Unless, wait, wee hours? No. March 17th. 12:39 p.m. Is that all about it? I didn't do anything? I might not have. Right. So this should be in, I hope. Wait, oh shit, it didn't go in the right place. That's all right. Now, I need to make a new one, which is going to be 18th. 18 through something, I don't know. Yes, 15, okay. Now, the things for the 18th go boom, boom. Okay, let's get these. Oh, stop it! I don't know about this. It's so easy. What's that about? That, oh, never mind. I don't think I need to worry about it. Okay. Yeah, I'm copying a lot of stuff. Now, okay, my phone, I should just see how much juice I have on my phone because I'm going to go in and eat. And, well, I have two choices. I could bring this with me to eat. That's not a bad idea. It really isn't a bad idea at all, is it now? As soon as I'm finished with that phone, I mean, even before, I could bring the whole thing in right now. But I'd better off not. In fact, I know what I could do. I could bring in the tripod now. Right, and then I'm gonna transfer it to this phone. Oh, no. No, oh my gosh, I'm so confused. I am so confused. That's right. That's right. I'm doing as much as I can on these phones because they're the ones I can just batch up and I can say, take these 50 files and overnight upload them. I can't do that with anything that's done through this computer on the FaceTime camera, so it goes into iMovie. It has to get single threaded. I mean, not totally single threaded. I can make something that's an hour or 2 hours long. Like I can make 2-hour long things. Maybe I should even make longer ones. Man, that's probably long enough. 2 hours, and then so I could batch up what's in those 2 hours. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. But the point is, anything that is, no, I'm not sure I'm going to do it. It's too much work. What I do need to do is make sure I back up my projects and my events. That's what I have to do. Make sure I back up projects and events. And this is something that goes on a Post-it. It sort of gets in my way, you know, that I kind of look at a bunch of times. Back up projects and events. I lost some projects. Yes, when the computer crashed on me. Back up projects and events. That's you see, the most important thing I could do is just take this stuff and have it. That's it. That's something I need to realize. And I think that's worth a label on this one. Which means taking a moment, I gotta plan this. Because I need to either be silent, I should be silent, while the lag time, because it can be, if it's long, this won't be that long, it's 24 minutes, so it'll be a minute or something. During which time, I've got to keep on, why did I stop it? There is a label. I could write it down, you know. Could write it, this is where having my stationary and stuff really always with me. You see, oh, so kind of changing gears now. I realize that I want to be explicit in my own mind and say, I'm facing a different way. When I'm facing into the studio, I'm thinking about performing. When I'm facing this way, I'm thinking about just taking the stuff and organizing it. That's all. Having it in two places at least. Putting whatever kind of labels I can on whatever. Not to come up with comprehensive systems. It's more like just catch whatever I catch. Label it somehow. I either label it on my this isn't the way, isn't it? So, okay. Maybe we'll do it this way. Oops. Hey, what are you doing there? Cat is. Here's my. There, I was going to move my coat, but I can't. This guy, he's a cat. He is definitely a cat. Of all the cats I've ever owned, he is one of the cattiest. And I don't mean that in any negative or positive way. I mean, just he is the essence of cat. He's weird. He's a nice guy. He's very lovable. And he's so soft. Oh, and he hates me picking him up. That's the problem. But he loves the attention. That's the thing. He loves this. And he's learned to enjoy it. Well, even though he wants to, I pick him up like I'm going to do now. Sorry, fella. I'm sorry. I am a terrible human because I just have to pick you up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why don't you just relax? Just relax. You see, he can't. He just can't. Okay, okay. You go here. Go back to your place. And I'll give you the little beating that you want. Ooh, ooh. Gotta be careful. It could be just a little. No, he's yawning. He wasn't about to hiss. I've learned that, Well, and people too, they like it. Like, oh, do more. But now, bam, And that's frequent. I mean, that's with, with romance, Romance gets so complicated because one side or the other just happens to really like what's going on and maybe wants to go a little further than the other side. And there should be, people should know how to say yes, but no to that. I'm fine with what you're doing, and you should accept my no, whatever it was. Just because we got second base doesn't mean third base, or maybe just because we went to third base quickly right at the beginning doesn't mean that I really want us to go back past first. Okay, whatever. I'm not literally talking about those particular what people think of each happening at each place, but whatever it is along the way. Can't we just say, okay, let's just be in the now. Let's enjoy whatever it is that's making us feel good being together. Because that's something I've just learned. It's very possible to feel good being with somebody, and it can be very animalistic. It's because we're designed that way, And so we feel good in somebody's presence, and what the fuck is wrong with that? It doesn't. I mean, we still have to just treat each other with respect, treat ourselves with respect, expect people to treat us with respect, and if they don't, then we just say, well, bye, or look, wait a minute, I'm happy to spend time with you, but this is what I mean by respect for me. You don't have to agree with me, but you have to listen to what I'm telling you about me. And if you're not willing to do it, look, I mean, you're not there for my enemy. You're just not somebody who I'm going to spend time with because life is short. And I don't know why Bissy Bee, she would say that. That was her thing. Like that life is short. And then she just completely blows off a friendship that was very special. And I know she didn't just blow it off. Something serious in her is seriously wrong with her way of responding to this kind of thing. Falling in love, that's what it was. She fell in love. I was always in love with her, but I also knew that I'm married and I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to cross a line. And actually, at times, I wondered what the line was. And, and actually, she and I sometimes had to sort of determine what that line was. You know what? I don't think we should do that. Yeah. And you see, I said it. I told you. I talked about how, well, especially how in lust, because she's so beautiful, the most beautiful. Really, Bissy B, I've looked since the last time I saw you. I'll tell you, you can look pretty ugly when you want to look ugly. If your heart is ugly, if you're feeling ugly, you look ugly. You look really bad. I have a picture. I couldn't believe it when I saw that picture of you. I thought, holy shit. I don't remember her yelling and screaming at me, and yet there's a picture of her. It was like in the middle of something. And at first I said, oh, it's just one of those things. You're in between this and that. But no, there was too much. And there was some sort of deep, like horror almost on your part. Horror at something, not at me. Well, I don't know. Something. It was like a realization, an emotional realization came to you. And you responded to it with this horrible look on your face. And it was very transient. It was gone very quickly. I didn't even see it. I didn't see it. Except in the photo that I was looking at later. Go, wait a minute, who's this? Who the hell is this? This isn't even the same person. This isn't you. But you know what? It is you. It was you. And I think if there's anything I hope that you understand is that, yeah, I've seen the ugly side of you. I still care about you deeply. It doesn't change my fundamental feeling about you. There's a deeply disturbed side of you that you hold down, you repress. And then when it comes out in a really kind of nasty way that's gotten you in. It's made you think you've got to run up to people on the beach and ask their forgiveness. Yeah, I think, how often do you think of me? I know you're very good at compartmentalizing. I used to think of that as your strength. I was envious of it. Because, in general, we never saw each other other than at school. And then, when there was like a week off or just even a long weekend, I would spend all this time thinking about you. And I didn't really want to be thinking about you. It just was. It was just happening. And then I could tell by what you said, it seemed this way anyway, that you, hi, it's good to see you. Between the last time and then, nothing. And I think that probably is true. I think you're good at that kind of thing. And again, I think in the proper place, that's fine. If it becomes denial, which I think was happening, you began to get more and more attached to me. But you denied it because of your compartmentalizing abilities. So when you finally realize, oh my God, I'm in love with this guy. I wish I could have him. I can't have him. Can't have this guy. And even if I weren't married, I don't know. I'm not sure we could make it, you and I. Certainly not now. But, we're never thinking that way. Never. I mean, maybe the thought crossed my mind. But I would always say, no, I'm not going there. I'm just not going there. It's not happening. And it's taken me some time. I mean, that's kind of something I feel good about, that I was able to do that. Say, okay, I have this kind of desire, but it ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna allow it to happen. This is my birdhouse hat. See, it's a. Yeah, I mean, there's enough room. I know there is. Yeah, it's fine. Right. Yes. My hat is inside. I mean, my bird is in its house. It's a very patriotic house. My bird wanted it all white, but I said, no, no. Then it would be the White House, and that's for somebody else, not you. It's not for a bird. I mean, unless you're a big bird. I mean, you have to be 6 feet tall, at least, if you're going to be a bird and be in the White House. I think there is some sort of height requirement because I think nobody's been elected to the White House without being taller. No, actually, I think there have been one or two. There are always these men, and it's men, who are really short. You know, Deng Xiaoping, he was like 4'6" or something. Napoleon, you know. Me, I'm short. I'm not that short. And my height has never been I mean, it's like, I'm fine, you know. If I were half a foot shorter or more, I would be a little worried, bothered by that, but I'm fine. I'm pretty fine with my body all around. But I do have this thing, this definite, like, you know, the too much kyphosis, you know, and I have this tendency to droop, and I know where that could lead. I saw it happen to my father. You know, he just became, he could get a lot shorter as he drooped over, and the head is a very heavy thing to hold up like this. You want to hold it. The idea is for it to be hold like this, you know, straight on over, and that's the least pressure. So as you're getting older, when you're getting more infirm and everything, now this part of your body is holding your head up, and it's completely changing your whole way of walking. You know, people don't understand it at age 55 or 60. If you're not paying attention, you will suffer. You will. If you pay attention, bad shit happens. Wind up, you know, some of the people who've led the cleanest lives wind up with cancer, you know. The guy who wrote the book on aerobics, you know, dies of heart attack, you know. How many lives did that guy save? From having, you know, how many heart attacks did that guy save? And he did a great thing. He popularized the idea of aerobic exercise. That man's a great man. And then he died. I'm sorry, man. You're dead. So, I mean, if you weren't dead, if you were lying in the hospital suffering, I wouldn't laugh. And I think, you know, if it were just a day after it happened, I also wouldn't laugh. I'd feel bad for you. But you've been dead a long time. And didn't Ewell Gibbons die of stomach cancer? No, but that's a little more understandable. That guy ate all sorts of shit. You know, I mean, just anything, you know. And he said, oh, good. Stalking the wild asparagus. I like asparagus and other carcinogenic wild things. Wild thing. You make my heart sing. I mean, as if, you know, if it's out in the if it's natural, you don't have to worry about it. Like, you know, what amanita mushrooms or whatever, you know, the ones. It's natural, man. Well, that's, I guess, LSD and you know, versus psilocybin and whoa. Ah. So, what have I done? I finished that. Now I need to eat. These guys were a mistake. These guys all go into 15 through I did that right. I can never be sure. I'm pretty. You know what? If it's not right, it's not right. It's got the date on it. It just helps. You know, I put it in these 2-3 day bins just so that I don't have thousands, you know, because I have 60, 80 a day or more. Actually, now they've got like 3 cameras going. Yeah, I've got so much shit. And it's sort of like in Exit Through the Gift Shop, you know. What the hell are you going to do with all this shit? Well, actually, there's a lot to be done with it. Because whereas most of it is shit, some of it's really good stuff. Of all sorts, and both in terms of the entertainment value, the material that I've come across in my mind that I've forgotten about. Whereas, though some of the things that I'm doing now, I realize, oh, those are things that keep coming. Oh, yes, I've done this before. And I realize that's what's so important about what the kind of comedy that I'm doing. You know, I don't. It's a performance comedy, you know, as opposed to writing jokes in a book or whatever. Anyway, yeah, and it's well. Anyway, I never did any of this stuff before. But that doesn't mean. Oh, that doesn't mean. It doesn't mean I can't do it now. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It don't mean nothing like life. It don't mean nothing. 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 It don't mean nothing like life. Oh shit, my voice is. You see, I'm very bad at. I mean, okay, so I'm looking up at what I'm doing here. You know, I'm working. I am. I mean, the thought that was going through my mind there was, when can I stop? I'm getting tired. Gotta do it all day long, man. That's who you are. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm somebody who can kind of sit down at the piano and play it for an hour and 2 hours, and some of which sounds really nice, some of which might sound a little discordant and disorganized because that's how I'm feeling at the moment. I mean, I really don't, you know, I'm new to this piano stuff. Never played piano or any instrument. I'd played guitar before. Actually, what I realized is I was more accomplished in guitar than I ever thought I was. Because it was all about definitions and about understanding, like, what is it to become accomplished in something. And now with the piano, and piano being part of the whole parroting initiative in my life, the determination to take the principles that I learned when I went back to school in occupational therapy and combine them with other things that I've read, and realizing that actually occupational therapy could be looked at as a Western form of yoga. Just really focusing on that same mind-body thing. It's all about how do you recover from injury or how do you accept disability? When do you adapt versus when do you relearn? What movements does it make sense to focus on relearning, which is a highly repetitive, boring task? Well, it could be. I mean, it depends how you learn it. So what do you spend your time on, especially the things that do require, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and not that, I'm going to do this. Ah! Yeah. Or, you know, I'm gonna tie my shoes, and since getting that mild stroke in my left side of my brain, my right hand has lost some of its, you know, it hasn't lost everything, but something, you know, it's like, I try it, it just isn't, it isn't, you know, that can be very difficult to understand and adjust to, and again, how much do you say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and if it kills me, which is actually not a good idea, because if you're trying to be rehabilitated, you don't want to die trying. Rehabilitation is an act of acceptance and an act of intention. I accept that something has happened to me that is way beyond my control to, like, the things that happened and the things that are going to happen in terms of my recovery or lack of recovery potential are kind of set. They're beyond me. But the things that I do to facilitate, that's different. That's what occupational therapy is supposed to be about. So saith I. Not everybody agrees with me. Some people say it's really about, well, never mind. I don't want to get in there. the American Occupational Therapy Association and I are officially not on speaking terms. I have the letter, the cease and desist orders. They didn't like the fact that I wanted to have people talk to each other directly instead of only going to organized presentations. I wanted there to be the opportunity at the conferences for people coming from all around the country, especially young people who they might come. This might be the only time they're ever going to go to conference. They're going to decide, are they coming back based on this? And I was so bold as to think that inviting people to a, what I called a come and go as you please gathering in the conference center, away where people walking by, we're going to have it over here. If anybody wants to come, it'll be at 1 o'clock. Well, I got kicked out of the Emerging Leadership Training Development Program, ELDP, I think. I was part of the inaugural class. I was old enough to be the grandfather of some of the people. And, well, old AOTA. The problem is it's run by the only two people who have any credentials in that organization. There is one person who's as far as the staff I'm talking about, there's one person who is an occupational therapist, and another person who's an occupational therapy assistant. Those two people are like the interface between the professionals and the who have a whole governance structure, and between them and the staff. There are these part-time people. They actually have all these part-time ad hoc people who, literally speaking, so when there's, say, the Commission on Education, which actually I was part of for 2 years, and I didn't get kicked out of it. I minded my own P's and Q's, and I was a good boy, and I tried to stay awake. We spent at least 20 minutes on this one thing, this one sentence, this one phrase. And finally, there was this whole argument about the wording of this phrase. This was a document that had gotten passed back and forth between different committees over the years, because it takes this kind of time, because the committees only meet, once or twice a year. So this committee says, oh, well, we want to go ahead with this, but we got to just get the okay of that committee, because otherwise the last time didn't get the okay. Oh, she's a So, yeah, make sure you send it to the proper people for them to make their decision. So this was a document that had gotten bounced back. We don't like the wording of this, or something like that. So, at least 20 minutes, maybe more, went by when finally somebody clarified things and said, what if we were to take the word very out of this sentence? That'd work. Oh, yeah. That's what we'll do. We'll take the word very out of it. Yeah, this is this is the Commission on Education. People are flown in from around the country for a day and a half. Once a year. Maybe every second year it's twice or something. There's some kind of thing where there's an overlap year or something like that. I don't know what it is. But they'll meet at conference. Try to meet at conference, but say somebody might not be there, so you can't have business without everybody there. So I'm forgetting. But yeah, the commission. When I was there, did I have meetings of the Commission on Education while I was at conference? Most likely, it would just make sense. In fact, were the meetings? Yeah, that was the standard meeting, was at the same time, right? No, they want it to be separate. They have to have like a retreat thing, a day and a half. Oh, full day and a half. So during that full day and a half, they spend 20 minutes out of what is really about, maybe 8 or 9 hours. We're talking about between breaks and stuff. 2 hours, and then 1.5 hours in the morning, and then 3 hours in the afternoons, and 5 hours, something like that. I mean, one day, and then 3 hours the next day, because you got to have a break, you got to have lunch, and everybody's got to leave to get their plane. So, 20 minutes on one word and 20 minutes for the entire. It couldn't be given to somebody. It was the entire. So, of the whole year that this group is together, something like, okay, a third of an hour. And I kind of think it was more, but let's just say it was a third of an hour. Out of, say, 8. So a 24th of the entire thing. The budget for flying people in and hotels and all that stuff. Food. The staff person, that's what I was getting off on. The staff person from that is an occupational therapist. But she's a very part-time person. She works just with this. Yeah, that's what it is. She's a liaison between the committee and the rest of the organization. She's the one who knows. Oh, she's the one who says, oh, but maybe, you know what? I remember 2 years ago, we tried to do this, and the committee, the ethics committee, they didn't have a problem with what eventually we did. It's just that they freaked out that we didn't run it by them. So we better do it. Wait a year for them to respond. It's a modern system. And I was attempting to say, well, let's see if we could just encourage people, no forcing, nothing big deal. Just every single young person who comes has something to offer. Why don't we have a structured structured group, a structured dialogue in which people get around and we just let people, say who they are, and then what we do is we say, if somebody would like to say like one statement, you're free to say it, and then before anybody answers what we want, okay, does anybody have that? Say it. Okay. So now what we ask is that the next person can say something back, but it's not so that the first person and the second person can talk. The first person said their thing. The second person has the obligation of framing what he or she says, such that the person number one doesn't feel obligated to defend themselves. You say something. You either say something that's like a supportive or augmentative or complimentary, or this relates to that, even if the person number one doesn't agree, but you say it, but you try to say it so that you listen to person number one. You try not to get into one of these things in which what you say somehow impugns anything about what person one said. Let person one's words just be. Let your words, as person's number two words, just be. That person number three can say anything about what number one and number two said, but person number three has an obligation to say it in such a way that both persons number one and persons number two are celebrated for saying anything at all. And if they said something that seems ridiculous, they don't need to be embarrassed in front of everybody. Okay, so you said that. And then we move on. And there are a lot of people here, so everybody say something if you want. If you don't want to say anything, don't say anything. Just listen. And if person number one, there is a bit of a hierarchy in that. Person number one probably gets dibs, but only maybe one time. Just once. We limit it. You were the one who started, and so you have a right to at some point say, I want to say something because I was the first person to talk. So I'm going to say my one thing. Again, I still have an obligation to say it in such a way that doesn't rile other people up, which is not to say everything we say is nicey. It's more, we don't, if a person says something very strong, we say, okay, you said something strong. We either have something positive, supportive to say about it, or we let it rest. Okay, you said something maybe that's, I mean, if it's completely outrageous, I think that all black people should be stricken from the AOT register. I mean, that wouldn't be a good thing to say. I mean, I would certainly say, we can forget the rules. You get the hell out of here. When you come here and you say such a thing, I'm not talking about that. No, seriously. I come here and I'm 20 years old. I'm from Oshkosh. I've never been on a plane before. And you know what? I just met an occupational therapist on the plane, and she and I had a good talk. So let's give a moment to what she said. And another person said, I wish I knew more about such and such. I'm hoping when I'm here I'll learn more. Okay, so person number 2 is being a little more focused on what we're here for than number 1. But number 1, wait, it's important for number 1. She's a little kid, and this is a big deal for her. And she volunteered to be number 1. Here. We don't have to make a big deal of it that way either. I mean, just say, look, you're willing to talk, then we have an obligation to be respectful, and we don't have to agree with you at all. We don't have to answer you. But we do need to be respectful and thoughtful of your feelings. You didn't come here to be insulted. You didn't come here to show that you're better than everybody else. So you have an idea that's different from my idea. And maybe I think it's stupid. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. It's wrong for me to tell you what an idiot you are. I think that's wrong. Why? What's the fucking point of it? What's the point? If you truly think the person's truly misguided at some deep level, and you feel that it's your obligation to talk to them, then you wait until later and talk to them in private. I mean, you don't talk about certain things in public, just because you got to respect people. So anyway, that's part of what we do here in OHAMSI, was we work on understanding what respect is. So and how we can be respectful. I mean, what we can do to do the right thing. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. No, but I want to get that going. I am so far behind. Okay. Shh. Okay, so here we go. So this is, since I'm going to turn that off, of course I put it right in front of the thing. Okay.